Well, what an exciting day because we finally have our first look at all this SS gear, and where I was a little bit nervous that this might actually end up being bad, this all looks pretty awesome. So one of the first things we're going to show you here is inside your merging, your workshop, whatever you want to call it, we have a new equipment tab down at the bottom. And this right here is where we're going to be making that SS gear. Now you can see the little green cube over on the right hand side. And this is going to be the Divine Weapon Cube. And from what I've seen so far, we can get them from those World Martial Arts. That's going to be the new PvP style tournament that's coming. You can see here are 5 new SS gear weapons and then the 2 armors in there. And that's just saying the SS equipment to forge. But here's the first one right here, Helo's Ward Blade. And this is going to be a combo weapon, deal normal attack damage equal to 300% of attack to the enemy. The Soul of Heroes cooperates to unleash a rage skill, dealing combo damage equal to 300% the hero's attack. And then for every 1% HP of the enemy lost, the Souls of Heroes damage increases by 1.2%. We can also see the other currency we see down the bottom there like we typically use for going and having the jewel socket, so you'll also need some of those. But there's the rarity stats of it right there. Global attack plus 35%, combo damage plus 50%. The Soul of Heroes will follow the hero in battle. Each time the hero performs a combo, Heroes deals combo damage to enemies equal to 100% of the hero's attack. And then the legendary one, the Souls of Heroes inherits the hero's normal attack critical rate and damage boost effects, counts normal attacks and combo hits, but does not trigger post-combo effects. The mythic one, the Souls of Heroes damage increases to 150% of the hero's attack. And it looks like we actually have an immortal stat on it here of 35%. The hero's normal attack damage is converted into skill shield. Still not 100% certain how these rarities are going to work. If you already have like a mythic +4, then you turn it into an SS gear, if that's automatically going to give that immortal stat, or if this is going to be something new we have to work up to plus that mythic +4. The Blood Shadow Arrow Lane Sword here is going to release 1 massive breath of Arrow Lane, dealing 300% attack sword energy damage and 300% normal attack damage. And that just says 2 enemies, and then it ends the line there. And that is also a combo weapon too. See the stats here, global attack plus 35%, sword energy damage plus 50%, adds 1 extra sword energy when performing a combo. Legendary is going to be all swords energy turn into breath of Arrow Lane, 60% sword energy damage, 60% normal attack damage. And then Mythic, Breath of Arrow Lane damage plus 30%. Finally, the Immortal one, Sword Energy Additional, deals true damage equal to 3% of the target's current HP and 3% Sword Energy damage. True damage and Sword Energy damage cannot exceed 15 times the hero's attack. The Thorn Sully's Suffering here, this is going to be a counterattack weapon, counter rate plus 50%, deals counterattack damage equal to 500% of the attack to the enemy and gains a shield equal to 40% of max HP. This one we have global HP plus 35%, gain an additional 10% shield when counterattacking. All shields become Thorn Shields. While having a Thorn Shield, record all direct damage absorbed by the shield. Every 3 turns, deal counterattack damage equal to 50% of the recorded values to enemies and start recording again. Legendary, while having a Thorn Shield, normal attack damage taken is reduced by 50%. And then Mythic, each counterattack increases Thorn Shield damage by 5%, stacking up to 4 times. After Thorn Shield deals damage, the bonus resets. And the Immortal, at the start of battle, the hero gains a shield equal to 60% of max HP. So far, these things are looking pretty crazy. Next, we move over to the Gale Eris Whisper here, weapon crit rate plus 50%, deals dagger damage equal to 500% of attack to the enemy and throws 3 daggers. That'll have global attack plus 35%, dagger damage plus 50%, when a weapon crits, throws 2 daggers, gain 25 rage on weapon critical hits, triggers 2 times per turn. Each dagger hit increases the hero's weapon crit rate by 2% and crit damage by 5%, stacking up to 10 times. And each throwing knife randomly gains rage reduction, shield break, weakness, poison, shrink, or vulnerability effects. Now with all these stats, we don't know if these are going to stick during this whole test server thing or if they're going to get tweaked, so use this at your own discretion. Finally, moving on to Divine Thunder, Nashir's Scepter. This is going to be skill damage plus 50%. At the start of battle, enter charge. During charge, at the start of each turn, the hero gains an electric shield equal to 8% of max HP. While charge is active, normal attacks cannot be used. At the end of the 3rd turn, release 1 Nasher Divine Thunder, dealing 150% lightning damage based on attack to enemies. If controlled, immediate release that Nasar Divine Thunder that deals 50% damage and removes the charge effect. After Nasar Divine Thunder is released, Charge starts again on the next turn. That's a lot to put in there to have to go and scroll through. The stats on this: release 1 lightning bolt each turn, lightning damage plus 50%. During charge, lightning damage increases each turn by 30, 60, 90%. In each turn, the Nasir Divine Thunder multiplier increases by 50%, 200%, 400%. After releasing the Nasir Divine Thunder, the effect is removed. We also have the Electric Shield increases to 15% the hero's max HP. All lightning has a 40% chance to become Death Lightning, and Death Lightning damage increases by 20% each time it's cast, up to 6 times the maximum. And then finally, that Immortal stat: while having Electric Shield, skill damage taken is reduced by 50%. But we also have both of the armors in here. Didn't see anything about rings or accessory, but the Crimson Dracula chestplate, this is just going to have a base HP plus 2000, global HP plus 50%, damage reduction plus 20%. Every 3 turns, restore 40% max HP. When Crimson Dracula chestplate restores HP, grants protagonist 30% final damage reduction for 2 turns. And then HP restoration effects increase to 60% of protagonist max HP. Final damage reduction effect increased to 45%. And then mortal skill: 50% of Crimson Dracula chestplate over heals converts to a shield. For the Reinhardt's Resolve, once again, HP plus 2000, global HP plus 50%, damage reduction plus 20%, revive with 40% HP upon death, can only trigger once. First 3 turns of battle, final damage reduction plus 15%. The mythic one there, revive with 100% HP. And then the Immortal, after revival, final damage plus 10% until the end of battle. But the craziness does not stop there. You see here, fragment conversion. So any extra fragments you have, we can go convert this. You're going to go and get some currency. And then if we go over here, there's our ancient fragments from going and converting those. Now we can go and exchange these for a whole bunch of other collection pieces if you don't have them already. So if you are having a bunch of them, this is going to be a way that you can go cash those ones in and then go and pretty much turn them into stuff that you don't have. But hold your horses, because things are going to get even better than that. If you look down the bottom tab there, you see Equipment Treasure Exchange. Now if you look here, Weapon Treasure Selection Boxes, we actually have the SS Equipment Treasure Selection Box. These are going to be Arcanas for those SS pieces of gear, or just the regular Arcanas we've been using already. So you can kind of just see some of the stats of having this here like we would normally see on the regular weapon Arcanas. There is one key one in there. I'm not going to go through every single one. You can just kind of see it on the screen here. Go back, pause it, play it, whatever you want to do to kind of get that info. But just let you know, there's Arcanas on these pieces of SS gear. For me, from what I at least saw for a couple of seconds there, probably the most exciting one for me is one of those armors. We'll go over that in a minute. We'll just kind of let these things roll through. This does look pretty good for that. I actually like the way these things look too. I think they look pretty cool. So everything still is looking like those big jumps are going to be coming in at 5 and 10 stars, but even the other stars look to be pretty decent also. So this one here, that's going to be our Dracula one. And this one wasn't, it was the revival one, but still everything looks pretty crazy. Don't worry, we'll show you in a second how you're going to be able to get all this stuff upgraded. But the big one being on it here at the 10 stars on it, pretty sure I saw that we can get an extra revival. Resurrection count +1. That looks pretty amazing right there. And I think everybody's going to be running that. So as far as, yes, more Arcanas, how do we get all these things? Well, if we go and click on one of these things now, you can see everything sitting max out in the Arcanas. We will now have ourselves like a dismantle or refresh here, swap talisman. 160 of those telescopes are going to be getting back. So this is going to be a way, like if you're like me, you did build 2 separate weapons on it and you're not really using those things to its max. Now you can go swap talismans. I've been praising these things for a while. We can go in there, get some of these Arcanas that way by refunding them on the R1s. Which still, once again, if you're not spending $5 every single week on that 7-day pilgrimage, you might want to start doing it in the fact of this stuff right here. But still a lot of crazy stuff for first look at this stuff. Can't wait to get in there and start using it. I'm hoping I'm going to get invited to the test server on it. But so far, this all looks pretty amazing. But you know what looks amazing? That brand new surfboard mount we just got. If you want to know all about that, take a look at this video right here. Thanks for watching, and remember, I pick my butt.